Thank you, Bishop. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Martha Smith, and I'm the current chair of the Oklahoma United Methodist Circle of Care Board of Directors. I've been blessed to be a part of this ministry for more than 17 years. The first 14 as part of the administrative staff in Oklahoma City, and now as a member of the board. With God's help and your support, we are living out our mission each and every day by providing Christian help, healing, and hope to the children and families in crisis to assure a safe, healthy, and spiritual future. We are currently celebrating our 99th year of ministry. I am here this morning to share with you a few of our accomplishments this past year, and please refer to page 54 in your packet for our full report. Our foster care program continued to expand into new communities across the state with full-time personnel, not only in our established offices in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, but also in Weatherford, Ardmore, Lawton, Ponca City, and Muskogee, and we are now able to reach out with part-time staff in Shawnee, Stillwater, Elk City, and Woodward. Our Native American foster home on the children's campus in Tahlequah reunited a sibling group of 5 children last April. Once we learned there were more than 1,500 Hispanic and Latino children in state custody, and there are only 131 Hispanic homes to provide their care, we began an outreach program to these communities. We now have 5 Spanish-speaking homes pending approval. 3 years ago, when foster care studies were failing for lack of a timely follow-up, we contracted with the state to provide home studies to facilitate the process of documenting information and processing prospective foster parents. Today, we are averaging 40 home studies each month. Without this partnership, many of these dedicated foster families may have given up on their dream of fostering, and the children might still be languishing in shelters. In our preparation for adult living, our PAL program, we have had 23 college and 37 high school graduates, 3 have received their GEDs, and 6 vocational school graduates since 2012. We are anticipating 2 more college graduations by December. In 2015, at our Pearls Hope program in Tulsa, we cared for over 17 women and 33 of their children. Bishop and Dee, your support to our ministry has had a tremendous effect on all of us, especially those we serve, and we thank you for your continued prayers. In conclusion, whether you support your Oklahoma United Methodist Circle of Care financially, by coming to one of our sites with a mission team, if you have donated on Circle of Care Sunday, made personal financial contributions through your Sunday school class, made sure that your church was instrumental in helping to pay their apportionments as best as they could. From the Circle of Care board, our staff, our children, and our families, I would like to thank you for your profound love and commitment to our ministry. We are only successful and blessed in being the hands and feet of Christ through your support. Now please join me in viewing these 3 brief testimonials, and then Mr. Batson will have a few words. Thank you.
My name is Jay Smith. I'm the associate pastor at New Covenant United Methodist Church in Edmond. I've been working there for 3.5 years, almost 4. And my specific roles there are outreach and nurture. And so I deal with congregational care and try to head up some of the outreach stuff that we do in the community around us. I first became aware of foster care and the need of foster parents. It's been a long time. I have good friends, Brian and Julie LePat, who started fostering, adopting. I think their oldest kids are 18 and 16 now. And so at least for the last 15, 16 years, I was aware of the need of foster parents, but it didn't become a reality for my family probably until the last 3 or 4 years. The things that really happened to push that to the forefront of my wife and I making the decision to become foster parents was really Jesus. It was the transformation of our lives by the grace of God and the call that he put on our lives to become not just foster parents, but people of compassion in the world around us. And it really manifested itself for us specifically in foster care. In our process of becoming foster parents, we've realized what it means to love unconditionally. We've realized what it means to be vulnerable. We've realized in some part what it means to suffer. And I think that's one of the hard things for foster parents or people thinking about becoming foster parents is they're worried about all of the heartbreak that, well, what if I take care of this kid for a year or 2 years and I go really attached and he becomes or she becomes part of our family, and then we have to work towards reunification with bio parents and eventually this kid leaves. For us, what we've realized in the midst of that, because that was at times a reality for us. We thought that this was just a temporary thing. And how I always landed in my response to that is that we believe in a God who decided the way to show his love for us was to suffer. And so for me, every step of the way in this process has been a development of my understanding of God. And also what happens is in him is you realize that God is the God of the fatherless. And these processes work themselves out in divine ways. I can give you about 100 different references to this, but there were things where I felt massively unequipped to handle, to deal with, to work through. And every time that I started feeling completely just inept, God would respond by equipping me, giving me the things to say, the things to do, the ways to respond. And I had a good friend who helped me in a lot of my early couple months of being a foster dad who said that God doesn't call the equip, he equips the call. And so for me, I've seen that every step of the way. And so for my wife and I, we've developed a lot in a bunch of different levels of our faith, our journey. And we're also becoming fairly decent parents, like we're figuring that out along the way as well.
Well, what brought me here to Pearl's Hope was I really needed some guidance and some support in my life. Growing up, I didn't have any of that. I came from an abusive home and very dysfunctional in my home. And then whenever I became a young adult, I continued in that dysfunctional life. I was in several abusive domestic violence relationships. I also struggled with alcoholism and drug addiction for 25 years. And whenever I came here to Pearl's Hope, I was looking for, like I said, some support and some guidance, and also someplace safe for my children and myself. And that's what I got here at Pearl's Hope. With my employment goals, another thing that the staff here has really helped me with is creating a resume. I've had mock job interviews to help me figure out maybe where my weaknesses are whenever I'm interviewing. I have gone on several interviews, so I'm asked daily to do job search. I do that online, and also I put in applications off campus, out at businesses, and I'm really looking forward to having, like I said, a job where I can be self-supportive and not have to rely on assistance in order to make ends meet. With the housing, once again, because of the mistakes I've made in my past, a lot of times whenever people look at the paperwork that I turn in, and they don't know me, they haven't met me. They just see those mistakes. But as I become a more confident person, I'm able to go and meet with these people and let them see me now, and to let them know that having a safe place to stay is a top priority for me, that the mistakes from my past are just those mistakes and that I've learned from them. The school that my children go to is very important to me because they've had to switch around a lot in schools. They've also had to go to schools that maybe weren't maybe the best schools in town, and so I've just been able to see them thrive with better schools, and so that's something that I'm really taking into consideration whenever I find the perfect place for us to go once I complete the program here.
My name is Mallory Speaks. I'm a senior this year at NSU. I'm studying criminal justice, and then I'm also minoring in Homeland Security and the Collegiate Officer Program. And I'm from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Before I came to the PAL program, I was living on campus in the dorms, and it was fine and all, but it was very expensive. And then November 18th, 2013, my mother was in a horrible car wreck, and she lost her right arm. And so then she also lost her job because she was unable to do nursing, continue with that. So with her being a single mom and still raising my little sister at home, she couldn't afford to give me the extra money to pay for my living on campus. And I heard about the PAL program from a friend, and she was like, I know where we can live for free, and blah, blah, blah. All we gotta do is volunteer hours and room checks and stuff like this. And I was like, you're kidding. I was like, there's nothing like that. I was like, nothing in this world's free. And she's like, just come check it out. And I was like, okay. So basically just came over here for giggle, just to get out of it, see what it was like. And then we came over and we did a tour, and I kind of just fell in love with the program. Everyone was really nice, and got the application and applied for it. Something that I started doing when I came here that I've never done before was volunteer hours. And I've always been like a giving person and a serving person, but I never noticed how humbling doing volunteer hours could be. And it's got me partnered with a local mentorship here in town. And so I get to go once a week to an elementary school, and I mentor these two little girls that just have a special place in my heart. They're like little sisters now. But that's one thing, having to get the volunteer hours. So getting to do that was really cool. And the PAL program opened that up to me, because I wouldn't have even known how to get involved in volunteer hours if it wasn't for that. And then this past summer, when I was doing my cleat training, the PAL program and Circle of Care paid for my law enforcement driving training class that was in Oklahoma City for a week. And they paid for my hotel, and if they wouldn't have been able to do that, I would have still be needing to take that class. But now I'm like finished with everything because they were able to help me with that. So that was really a huge blessing. So we meet with Nick. You're supposed to meet with her at least once every other week. I think I meet with her about 2 or 3 times a week. Built a good relationship with her and Kristen and Keith here, but she's also taught us how to make a grocery list and how to stick to that while shopping, because before I came here, I had no idea how to go buy my own groceries other than buying like junk food to keep in the dorms. But now that I've moved here, she showed us how to shop healthier, and so it's like literally everything I buy now is like healthy food. So there was that. And then she's also kind of taught us how to like manage our money and keep a close eye on that better. If the PAL program wasn't here, I probably wouldn't have been able to finish my senior semester or senior year at NSU. I would have had to move home and live with my mom and work and help her. So my college would have ended right there pretty much, because I couldn't afford to still live on campus and go to school full time and everything. So that's probably what would have happened without the PAL program.
We want to thank Jay, Jennifer, and Mallory for their testimony today. We have only a few minutes, and we have some people coming, and hopefully we're going to help thank you celebrating our 100th year or coming up on it. The churches you just saw highlighted, we have a plaque. We honor the 5 largest supporters of the Circle of Care every year. And then the smaller congregations, we honor the 5 churches that help us according to their average attendance. We don't want to leave the smaller churches out. We were so blessed by our churches, we couldn't do our ministry without it. At the end of the year, we had 414 active Methodist churches, and 88% of those gave 100% of their apportionments to the Circle of Care. If you combine that with our special gifts that come along with our apportionments, we received well over 100% of our apportionments from our churches. We could not do it without you. We had 4% gave a combination of 56%, did all they could do. So without our churches, we would not be able to provide the services that you've seen today. So we want to thank our churches, our staffs here. We're going to hand out some little mementos, but know that you're served. If you're one of those top 5 churches, if you'll come by our booth, we'd like to honor you with a plaque for your service. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.